Hello everyone, today is Thursday, 12th of June, and I'm not sure if you watched my previous episode when I was showing you that, I was telling you that I'm planning to knit a garment going through with a flow, let's call it that way. And my goal was to grab a skein. I have 3 skeins like that, and I was able to grab one of the yarn. This is 100% baby alpaca. Over here we have 365 meters, which is 400 yards. So it's for me, it's kind of thicker fingering weight yarn. It has a funny, it's in the hank. I think that's officially, we should say it, but we call it a skein. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to unravel it for you. And I'm going to use the chair because I did not bring any Swift or any ball winder with me, although I do have them at home and they're beautiful and I love them. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to do this. You see, this is how it looks. Very drapey. It's 100% alpaca, baby alpaca. I love it around my neck. So like, if you don't know, I would say like just play with it and see how it feels. And then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to use the chair that I'm sitting, just putting it around, snipping the ends and just making a ball. But before I do that, apparently, this is what I normally do, just kind of give it a bit of this, I don't know how you would call it. I'm a little bit afraid because it looks over here slightly interesting. But I think it should be here, and it looks better. It's just it hasn't been grabbed by the label. Therefore, always examine the loops. That does it feel that the whole thing is together? So now it is. But if I do this, you see this? It's not grabbed by the label. So, but that's fine. I was able to spot it. And I hope it's going to be fine. Therefore, what I'm going to do, I'm going to swatch something and I'm just going to wind it and show you that I did it. So you're my motivational thing. And what I grabbed, I grabbed this, I didn't check what's over here. I have only over here 4 millimeters and 3.5 millimeters. Therefore, I will have to look for the 5.5 because it's still be so weird to knit 5.5 using fingering weight yarn, but we want drape over here, and I've never done that, so that's quite exciting for me to do. But like I said, I want to create a cord, so a fold that the cord will go through to tie it. I'm going to use DPNs. So I have few, actually you just need 2. You don't have to use DPNs if you don't have, you can use normal kind of circular knitting needles. Just you would have to slide all those stitches from one side to another side if you don't know how to do a I-cord. I think we'll go with the 5 stitches, although I know it's quite a lot, and so I'm going to see how it goes with the 5. That's my at least way of thinking. And yeah, because I think 5, I don't know, I think, you know, this is I'm thinking out loud, doesn't mean I'm going to do it. So wait for the moment I'm going to do it, and then I will see if I like it or not. So I love these because they're different color for different sizes. It's like a knit pro or knit picks, because as you can see, this one is blue and this is 4 millimeters. So US size 6, I presume. So love it so much. I love the little tot into it. Brilliant. So these are the sock, so you could knit socks on them, but I'm going to do I-cord, and that's my plan for the day in regards to knitting, so finger crossed I'm going to do it. Right, I forgot my bag with the scissors, therefore I'm hoping that I'll be able to just undo the ties and stuff like that. So I'm just going to drop it like this, as you can see, and now I'm going to find the ends and, you know, unravel everything. So let's see, can I get to the bowl and making the bowl? 1, 2, and now we have ends. I'm not sure how to start, but basically I'll just hold it with my thumb, the end, and just wrap it a few times around. And this is what motion I will be doing over the chair. And hopefully, because this is the scary part. Is it going to get tangled or not? So once I feel that I have enough over here, bigger the ball is, faster it's going to go on. Well, at least I presume so. And then once I have a bit, I'm just taking it off and just slowly making a little bow. And then putting, like bending it, and then going over like that. So completely different direction, like an X. So we had this, now we have that. And then once I do this, I know, it's like, you don't have to think. Then I'm just switching, and every time I do a few rounds, I'll be just twisting what I have in my hand right now in slightly different direction. Could be from the like side or straight, or yeah, and this is what I'm doing. So as you can see, I've already have something that looks like a tiny ball. Just few, not too many. I like to do just few rounds and change. Unless it gets bigger, then I will do more in one section, but just to give it, just to have it like that. So yeah, so far so good. Keep finger crossed. So here it is, a progress. So the ball gets bigger, and I will take this opportunity to maybe tell you what the quote I found for today, and I kind of like it, and it kind of aims to me. I don't think to more people, but it says, the quieter you become, the more you can hear. I like to talk. I think it's my shield. When I get nervous, I talk quite a lot and cannot stop. So that's that. The quieter you become, the more you can hear. Anyone resonate with that too? Let me know. And as you can see, my bowl gets bigger, and this is kind of reminds me now when I was a kid and my mom asked me to hold the yarn for her in my hands, and she would just make those balls. She would recycle the yarn maybe sometimes from the sweaters, and you have to wash them then because they're very kind of bumpy if you don't know. And she taught me how to recognize the hand knit sweater from machine. And then she taught me how to recognize machine when it's just cut through the fabric and you're not going to recycle that yarn. It has to have seamed, and there are machines that they create like a seamed flat knitting seamed garments, or just someone hand knit it, and then you can find it in the second hand shops. And then reclaim the yarn and make whatever you want. So I remember I was very happy to try to find the biggest sweater you can get, because there's some part of the yarn when you recycle that you're not going to recycle 100% of the sweater. Therefore, you know, you're aiming for the sweater that weighs around 4 kg or like 5 kg of the yarn, especially in the 17s vibes. And therefore, when I was a kid, I've never had an opportunity to knit with wool yarn. It was almost all acrylic yarn. I think I've never felt the difference, and I would recommend anyone to try to knit with natural fibers, because it's completely different sensation, completely different excitement, I would say, different vibe. I just watched my friend's video. She is crocheting 2 projects. One is the garment in the natural fibers, and one is the bag. She bought the patterns on Unraveling, and the bag is cotton, so she said it's a completely different experience. So just that, so yeah, so look, you can have different experiences with different knitting needles or different yarn blends, even when you're just knitting the same project all over again. So yeah, just have fun. Okay, I started a topic over here in regards recycling yarn from a second-hand shop, and I was thinking maybe just give you all the things what I would do, for instance, if I would be looking for something like this and looking for natural fibers. Therefore, I'm going to the second-hand, I'm going to the sweater section, and I'm checking labels, because if it is machine, you would have a label and it will tell you what kind of content you have, and you may even end up with some cashmere sweaters. So be aware that cashmere, it's hard to frog, but you know, you can always try. And anyway, so the first thing, let's say you found a sweater you really like I said, try to find the biggest you can get. That way you will have as much yarn as you can get. And the first thing what I would do, I would wash it in the basin. Is that the word? Something that popped into my head, basin. Hopefully it's right. So in the bowl, and dry it outside, not to keep it at home, and then put it into the fridge, just in case something lives there or is going to live there. And if you put it in the fridge, I think will do the justice. And then for like 24 hours, I would say. And then I would take it out and I will dry it again, I think. And then I will see how I can frog it. So the other thing that you're looking for is the seams. And if you separate them, you could see the ladder between the connection to things together. If you see that there is, that's a tricky one. If you have a good company making sweaters, sometimes they connect the two sections together, but they will overdo it with like, you know, like a net looking thread machine thing. It is tricky because if I see something like that, I would presume straight away that this is not something you want to recycle, because most cases they do that because there's some just ends, there's no connection. So just to be aware, it may happen that, yeah, so I would look for something that doesn't have that net on the side, and then I can kind of stretch it a little bit and then see they're just ladders like this. If they are, therefore I will be cutting those ladders and then I will be separating them, and hopefully I was lucky and it was right, and it was one that I can actually properly frog. And then I will need to find just which way the sweater was knitted, and most cases I think they would knit bottom up machine, therefore I will start looking over here first. And if it's not going well, I will go from the bottom. And if it's very felted, I will just cut it off. Like I said, we may lose some yarn, and then just unravel it to live stitches and see if they kind of go smoothly or swiftly. And if they don't, they probably were knit all the way around. So yeah, and once you have the yarn and you frogged it, and you, I would say frog it and put it into the bowl. Once you have that in the bowl, I would put it into hanks, like you could see the other one with the loops. So then just put it around the chair, maybe two. Secure it with the loops, like I was cutting them around, so the loops are not going to mess up, and then wash it in the basin. So just to strengthen the thing. And the washing is just basically putting in water, putting some shampoo, or yeah, I would say shampoo, yeah, if you don't have any fancy things, if you want fancy, but shampoo is fine. And then leave it like that, relaxing for a bit. When that's relaxed, then that lovely loop that I showed you at the beginning of my putting a ball, just hang somewhere that can dry, fully dry, and then you can go back to the situation I have right now, that you can put it around the chair, or use someone's hands, or get a Swift and wind in your hand, or use a ball winder to make into the bowl, and you're ready to knit. Although once you do that, weight the yarn, see what kind of thickness it has. Figure, is it fingering, DK, or worsted, and just play along with it, I would say. For those who, you know, like when I was little, we didn't have a big budget, and we were trying to knit sweaters, or knit something, in my case. And yeah, that was fun to do. Okay, I'm not going to take any more of your time, and if I make an I-cord, I'll show you maybe tomorrow, hopefully, or another time. So take care, because I think it's long enough already, and I've kind of got a topic that I went off, and I hope you like that one. Tell me if you have any secondhand shops that you would be able to find sweaters. I haven't actually looked over here in Ireland, Limerick. What do they have over here? But as you know, I do not have time for stuff like that. And I was so blessed during this amazing YouTube channel since 2015 that I purchased some yarn, that I received some yarn, that so far I think I'll have yarn for a few years to knit with. Quantity from perspective of sweaters, that's a questionable thing. However, sweaters could be striped in different colors and knit with leftovers too. Therefore, I'm not really worried whatsoever. And I'm just going to my random spots in the house to see what I have, because it's not really organized properly either. So I hope you enjoy this one. Tell me what's the situation in regards to knitting. Have you ever recycled the yarn? Have you ever attempted to do that? And yeah, let me know your progress, your enjoyment, and what's next thing you would want to knit in the future. Bye bye. Oh, and you can join me if you want to, but wait until I have something to share in regards to this project. Bye bye. Right, so I finished, and now I'm going to knit an I-cord, but I'm going to tell you bye bye, and I'm going to start with 5 stitches and start to knit an I-cord. Hopefully that will be fine. How long it's going to be? I think like as long as my arm maybe, because you know I want to put it around and have some for a bow and something to hang down, so we shall see. If you want to follow with no expectations whatsoever, with the growing things in case we have to frog something, off you go, do it yourself, or just wait until I finish it completely and see if it's going to be a success or it's going to be a disaster and we would have to grow from it and then frog it and maybe redo something and make something else. So okay, I can talk about knitting because I enjoy it so much. Therefore, I hope you enjoyed it too, and till the next one, bye bye. It's me again. That's my parrot I need to eat. So I'm making the I-cord, and I cast on using long tail cast on. I left a bit because maybe I will have to do something about. I have 5 stitches, and basically I'm just sliding those 5 stitches. Once I cast on, I slide and I knit, because that will be the knit side, because you may see on the other side they're just like minuses, purls. And what I do, I thought that's what I'm going to update you. When I knit first stitch, I let it go and I tuck the yarn, because we're actually knitting in the round. So if I didn't do that, I would have like a long ladder there, you know, like connection between one stitch and another. So that's what I do with one, but then I go 4. You see, I went 4 and I'll just slide and I start again. Again, I'm going to knit 1, but kind of pull this one a little bit just to have a connection and knit 4. Is it the right way to do? Is it the wrong way to do? I don't have a clue. I'm just telling you what I'm doing in case you would want to, you know, you've never done this, maybe that would be a tip, and I'll be just doing that for a while. Hopefully, you know, once I have a bit, I'll see if I'm satisfied with this. Do I have even stitches and stuff like that? You know, I'm not perfect. They look okay, I would say, and I don't think anyone will be really going close to my I-cord, you know, like if they go close to my chest, I think that would be a little bit inappropriate, let's say it that way. So do not worry too much when if the one stitch slightly bigger and it just kind of got wonky. At the end of the day, when we put it into the, like even washing, when you make an I-cord, kind of do a few top pulls and stuff like that gently to kind of get them set, and maybe that fixed the issue too. Okay, 1 minute, 2 minutes talking about I-cord. Okay, for sure, I'm leaving you, and next time I'm going to show you some progress of this little bit. See it? Bye-bye. Not that much. It's such a joy to make I-cord. And I think I-cord stand from idiot cord. Am I correct? Bye-bye.